to the Sevensixtwo Systems video of how to modify your Tapco duckbill magazines to work with our adapter system. There's a few small modifications that you have to do to your duckbill magazine to be able to fit to our system. Nothing has to be done to the front of your magazine. This all works just fine. The modification that you need to do is on the back. There's tolerance variations within Tapco mags and any other plastic molded mag for that matter. You have to remove a portion off of the back of the mag. This is a unmodified that has just a regular point. It works quite well with the duckbill-less spacer block, but with the regular Tapco mags you need to remove a chunk of material off of here. That can be cut off with just a hacksaw. Any kind of a saw will work fine. So just a regular hacksaw. You'll also need a file to clean up any burrs that you might create. Also on the rear portion here, there's also tolerance issues that you may run into with burrs that are created once you're working the magazine into the gun. They are hand fit, so you will need to take the time to fit the mags, just due to the variances in tolerance. Just filing off a couple thou off the back usually does it for most Tapco mags. Bauer mags seem to have a little bit more meat on them, so you might have to file more. Other than that, the regular Tapco magazine with that mod now should insert into the rifle pretty much perfectly, and it is quite solid, and it releases just as good. The Bauer mag also, we have taken some off of the back, off that point, and filed a little bit off of the back on here to hand fit to the magazine, and the Bauer mags do lock in. A good positive click. All your magazines are going to be fairly snug at first until everything wears together nicely. That's just a process of having to modify a magazine. We're looking at having magazines made to our specs for our system. That is underway. The next thing we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about using the adapter spacer block for the duckbill-less mod, where basically you remove almost all of the duckbill from the magazine itself, and this allows you to insert the magazine into mag pouches. So if you're running 3-gun or you're doing tactical shooting competitions, stuff like that, IPSC, ISPCA matches, you can actually use a magazine in a mag pouch and have some efficiency with it. The modification is quite simple. You're basically removing material. So once you've done the mod to the rear of the mag, you basically can, if you see, I'll overlay the two mags together, the section of material that you're moving. There's a few things that you're going to need. You're going to need a cutting tool again, like a hacksaw, something to measure with, tape measure or ruler. Pencil works great for marking on the mag. The graphite shows up really well. And a file again for cleaning up any burrs that you create. So we'll do the basic measurements. You're going to take a pencil and you're going to take a ruler. Where you want to cut on the mark and cut on the Tapco magazine, you want to measure from this point on the mag, this direction, 1/2 inch. So you're going to take a ruler, you're going to lay it over top, and you're going to mark 1/2 inch. Scribe yourself a small line over the top. Now you're going to take your hacksaw and you are going to cut this portion off down to the bottom, so I'm basically in a straight line down. The next cut you're going to make is you're going to take your hacksaw and you're going to go in this groove and follow this line right up until the curvature of that slot. So you don't want to remove any material from here, you just want to remove up to that line. So if you cut almost in the middle of the slot, then you can take a file, clean it up a little bit if you want to be perfecto, but it's not 100% necessary as long as you're not cutting into this section of this reinforcement bar on the magazine. Then what you'll need to do is you'll take your hacksaw again and you're going to remove this portion of the material basically right up to there, and make it a little bit wider for the video so you guys can see the material you're kind of removing. This isn't super critical. If you want to get picky and be all nice, that works too. Mine, I just cut them crude because it doesn't really matter. Then from this shoulder, you want to measure 3/16 of an inch this way, and you're going to make a cut. We're going to use a ruler for that one. Hope you can see this. And a lot of these measurements are approximate. They're not hard written in stone. And then what you're going to do is you're going to lay some kind of a straight edge over top from the 3/16 measurement to the 1/2 inch, and you're basically going to you're going to cut along this edge. So you're going to basically remove this little corner, so this is no longer square, it's on an angle. And what that is, it's a relief cut, so that on the mag adapter block, when it's installed in the rifle, will be anchored. And the magazine now engages, instead of on the front of the duckbill, it engages on this lip here. So if it's too long, you might have to take a little bit more off, but when it sits in the gun, it doesn't actually go all the way to the back. See how the top of the magazine leaves a bit of a space? That's clearance so that when it's inserted into the mag, it doesn't provide pressure on the back of the magazine catch. So it's got a little bit of release movement so that I can rock in. Because the magazine will come up, hook, and then rock up into place. And then the magazine will latch on the rear. Other than that, it's pretty straightforward. It's just going to take a little bit of time to do a little bit of hand fitting. As far as the Bauer mags are concerned, the relief cut is basically identical to the Tapco. You start on the second bar down, cut it off, and you're good to go.